And we are recording live. There we go,
Check.
Devon.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for checking in with us today. We have an awesome guest for you. He is the owner and CEO of Green Coast Rubbish. Their goal is to recycle your rubbish, thus reducing the need for landfills. They also donate and repurpose items. This past year, Green Coast has recycled over 1 million pounds of waste that would have
Woo!
normally gone directly into landfills. Now, that's incredible. Come on, guys. So
Yeah.
please welcome Eamonn Duignan. Eamonn, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you. Thanks for
Hey.
having me.
Yes, thank you so much
Hey,
for coming on the
Eamonn.
show.
No worries, of course.
Okay, in this part of the show, the very beginning of the show, what we do is we do what we call two truths and a lie. So I'm going to tell you three things, and one of them is a lie, and Devon and I are going to have to pick which one is the lie. Okay.
Sweet.
So here we go. Number one, I operated a corn stand and hired my 8-year-old brother as security. What the heck is that? That's good. Okay, number two, I worked on a pearl farm in Northern Australia. Okay, that's possible.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number three, I'm an extreme mountain biker, but never crash.
Oh, I mean, come
Ah,
on with that
come on,
one. I
dude.
mean, everyone
Yeah,
crashed.
So what do you think, Dev?
Well, the last one because you definitely
Yeah,
crashed.
I mean, I
But
watch these crazy
Yeah.
videos of Eamon like dropping off stuff on the North Shore here, and it's unbelievable.
but the
uh,
Pearl Farmer one sounds interesting. I don't know. That could be so random that it's so true, or it could be totally made up.
Yeah.
So let's go with the Pearl Farmer one. Whatever.
Yeah, I go Pearl Farmer as well.
As the lie? Or
As the lie, yeah.
oh yeah. No, it's true.
It's true.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
took a year, did a tour of the South Pacific and ended up in Northern Australia and worked on a pearl farm. Pretty crazy.
Oh
Random.
wow, very cool. That's unbelievable.
And the
Man.
corn farm. What about the corn farm?
That's
What
true.
was
Yeah, yeah.
what the
That's true.
heck?
Yeah, we where I went to high school in Georgetown, I bought corn from a local farmer and then drove it up towards Square One in Mississauga, basically,
Uh-huh.
and set up a stand and we sold out every day.
Wow.
To the local like Jamaican and Trinidadian population,
Oh yeah.
they
Yeah.
love the corn.
Love the corn.
Nice.
And it was so crazy that I brought my younger brother in to because it's the honor system, right? It was literally and I'm like, yeah, just watch him. And so I had my brother like running around being the top. In fact, it was that was so successful that the farmer, Bob Allison, actually great guy, took it over.
Oh no way.
Oh.
You're kidding.
The next year, because I'm buying his product and renting his truck and so it's pretty funny.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
And then the mountain biker one, I kind of threw that in. I took one of yours out and threw that one in there because I know I watch your videos,
Yeah.
your mountain biking stuff, and I've been riding on the North Shore since 1986. But the stuff that you're doing is holy crow! It's kind of leaps and bounds above stuff that I've ever done.
Right. Well, the sport's evolved
Killing
as well.
myself. What's
Yeah.
that?
It's the sport's also evolved as well.
It has the equipment and everything.
And
Yeah,
equipment.
we used to ride up there and we would have rigid forks
Oh.
and like rigid everything, right? We had
Yeah.
no shocks. We had and some of the crazy crashes and cartwheels down upside down.
Oh, I can't imagine.
It was it's brutal. And big styrofoam helmets with lycra lycra tops over them.
Sweet.
Yeah. So Green Coast is really cool. And I don't know, Dev, you guys Dev worked for Green Coast. So
Sure
I don't know, Dev,
Absolutely.
when was that? That was
Oh man, that would have been like 2016,
Yeah.
2017 maybe.
Ages ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago, and I was probably working for you for about, I don't know, a year and a half maybe.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
right
longer?
before you were just getting into the acting. I
Yeah,
think.
right. And then I left and I came back and we
Yeah,
did some
yeah,
demolition stuff, and then
Great.
Oh, it was just a great time. Just a great time.
Awesome.
Devin used to come home with all this crazy stuff. He'd have those black light paintings, you know, that he would
Yeah,
up like velvet, and he would have. I mean, he does things like, I mean, even like a TV and stuff, like all this stuff that these people
Reuse,
would
yeah,
reuse
for
and
repurpose.
sure.
repurpose, right? And yeah, this like this, yeah, just really weird, like tiki bar stuff, like
Yeah,
from tiki bars, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
these people,
Yeah,
all your
lots of
clients
old
would go
canvases, and then just spray
canvas.
the canvas down, and then just do another piece of art on it. It's there you
Oh,
go.
cool. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Nice.
Right.
That
So
was pretty funny. So you're so Green Coast is it's an interesting story. So I really like the green part of it, because there are a lot of kind of trash collection companies around, but you are different, right? I mean, what differentiates you guys, and what's your story? Why is your company so different than the other ones? And you're, you know, when you were younger, were you wired that way, Eamon, as to kind of, you know, help and repurpose and create a
Sure,
bit of a
sure.
sustainable business when you're older? Or yeah, what's your
Yeah,
story?
yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I would say that regarding growing up, I would say, yeah, I would say a lot of it stems from my mom. She was like
Yeah.
always like hyper diligent, like recycling
mm,
and using, not wasting. You know what I
mhm.
mean? I grew up with three brothers, so
Yeah.
it was like you had to you use the most of whatever you had, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess really when I think about it, I think that's probably where it stemmed from, and then as I grew in my studies, obviously sustainability and
Mhm.
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
is prominent, right? So
Yeah.
and at the time when I started it, it was all kind of just happenstance. I was living on Mountain Highway
Hmm.
by your old place, I guess,
Right.
and the landlady had a friend who had a junk removal company, and I had no idea what that was, but needed a driver. And at the time, I didn't have any work, and I'm like, sure. And then kind of learned the business. And his
Hmm.
model was a little bit different. I was more A to B, you know what I mean? Pick it up,
Mhm.
dispose,
Mhm.
Right.
and that was common practice. We're talking, well, I guess 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, and so then I'm like, I worked for him for like 3 years, and then I said I can do it better. Well, I can
Mm.
do it a little bit different. And
Mhm.
our whole thing was on the reuse potential of the material. And at the time, there was no one doing that, using the recycling and junk removal. You know what I mean? They
Right.
weren't in the same
Yeah.
marketing. So I was like, yeah, it
Yeah,
made sense to
that's
me. And
interesting. Yeah,
yeah, and
I'm just gonna say that's interesting with the, the way you grew up, I guess, with your mom and you guys not, wasting stuff. I kind of reflect back to my grandparents. My grandparents lived through the war. My grandfather served in Africa, and when I went back to the UK into Wales, when I was like 12 years old, my grandfather would always have tea bags drying on the clothesline. And I was like, "What the heck is that?" And he goes, "Well, they've got two or three more good uses to them, old boy." And I was
that's
like,
awesome.
What?" And but it's just that they grew up in that way, that everything was scarce and you had to reuse and recycle everything.
100%.
And
And
right,
the war, yeah, the wartime effort, right? And that's
exactly,
really, yeah, resources were scarce, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah,
and then we move forward and consumerism and
yep,
that's certainly changed, but
Totally.
some of those ideals are obviously still around. So
yeah. So
Absolutely.
so the sorting. So you guys, so we've used you guys a few times, at our house and at various other places. And it's just an amazing operation, because you have, your guys in your trucks come in and they take stuff out, but then there's this massive sorting that
yeah,
goes on. It's just mind boggling. And yeah, I just, my hat's off to that. There's a lot of work in that, which is fantastic.
yeah, and yeah, it is a lot of work, but but it's front end, you know what I mean, and then the
Exactly.
back end, it's a bit smoother. So
Mhm.
there are some trade-offs for sure, but it's well received. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
said, where this is our 15th year, uh,
Yeah.
and it's funny how life is. Hey, like I often say that I started in this by chance,
Yeah.
100% by chance. But I mean, part of it for sure my personality and my my willingness to try things. You know what I mean? And my openness, I suppose. But I mean, I laugh that I've created a monster, because it's like it's all consuming. But I mean, I love it, and it's all positive and
yeah. But it's incredible every time I open a newspaper or turn on. You've won another award. I mean, you have awards coming out of the yin yang. You have more awards of any company that I know in the North Shore and in Vancouver. Like it's sustainability and this and that and People's Choice Awards. And every time I see you standing up there, it's unreal. It's fantastic.
You know what?
You really are doing something.
Well, I thanks. No,
and being recognized for it.
No, and for sure, and and part of that is us pushing it out, making it visible as well. But a lot of it is the team. You know what I mean? And it's everyone believing in what they're doing and affecting change, if you will. And that kind of the full circle stuff. You know what I mean? Like we have a really, really strong culture here, and they're happy. You know what I mean? They're happy about what they're doing. They're happy about the whole mission. And it just comes, and that relates to the clients, right? It's the boots on the ground, right? And
that's right.
Yeah.
Talking about the boots on the ground, I'm gonna put up just a couple of slides. So this is a little bit Eamonn with one of his trucks. And for those people listening on Spotify, Devon will just explain what you see here.
Yeah.
So your crew, I see pictures of them all over. There's lots of posts. These guys always post on Instagram everywhere when they're doing a job, and they look like the happiest crew ever. Is there a secret? Is there what's the deal? How come they're always so happy? I mean, you treat them, obviously you treat them really well.
Well, we do a lot, and because it's a unique situation, right? Like I run this out of my den, and if I, my interview process is, it's pretty funny. Like we sit down, and if we can't have a conversation an easy conversation, then it's like, regardless of experience and driving history, it's just like, you're not a fit, right? So one, it's fit. Two, it's the culture, right? We are professional, but we're like, life is to enjoy life, right? And so we try to have as much fun as we can. Here, for instance, before they took the picture, I'm like, okay, jazz hands.
Yeah.
We're all here in jazz hands. But you know what? It's just, it's that culture, kind of, I guess.
So what I've noticed, Eamonn, these days is, because with my business and other businesses, is that business has changed. Business isn't the same business of 20 years ago, especially for the youth. So most of your crews seem to be younger people, right? And I just feel that I see it, that younger people these days want to work, and they want to work hard, but they want to work for a company that has purpose, not just clocking in, clocking out 9 to 5 and just getting a paycheck. They want to actually be contributing. And that's kind of the feeling I get from your crew, and because you're different and you do, have a purpose. And I really feel, I mean, Dev, is that right? I mean, from your friends and the people they want to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, for sure, working for a green company is kind of the way I've always gone. And I'm just going to go back to just explain a little bit of the picture here. So this is one of the big trucks Eamonn has for the Green Coast crew here that they use to pick up and recycle trash. And they got the whole crew on the back here. What is there, like 5, 6 of you plus Eamonn here, all with their hands up, having a good time. But that was pretty much the day to day when I was working for Green Coast as well. Like, it's a labor job, you're moving stuff, but we would be having a good time. We'd be working hard, getting the job done, but you'd also feel good about yourself because the extra time that it takes to sort this stuff out, the stuff isn't going, directly into the garbage. We're recycling these things or repurposing these things. So yeah, absolutely. There's a huge feeling of satisfaction and, enjoyment when you're doing stuff like that, rather than just being, working for a different company. All right, let's, maybe it's a little easier just throwing everything in the back of the truck, but it's all just going to the same place at the end of the day. So yeah, no, definitely having those, knowing that we're recycling and It is making a difference. Little by little, everybody, you know, it makes a difference for sure.
There's a photo here, and there's a looks like a little kid in the background here. What the heck is
Oh
this?
yeah, look at that. Oh, come on, it look pretty much the same. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so this is at S&C Lavalin, I think one of our first jobs for S&C Lavalin.
Totally.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Totes. Yeah.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Recycling all their paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Devon
loads
clean,
and
Devon
loads.
clean shaven. Is that
Yeah.
right?
So this is
Kareem
us
or
at
Kareem back there.
Yeah, this is us at SNC Lavalin, and we have all these totes that are filled of their like printer paper, sets of paper that we're going to recycle. And then I'll just explain the picture. On the right is Mike, on the left is Sean, beside me on the left is Dylan, and then in the back is my buddy Kareem. So it's all five of us kind of around these totes in the in one of the lobbies of this building, just waiting for the elevator so we can move some of this paper. So that's what's happening in this picture for those of you who are just listening.
And I don't even have to throw this up because this is everywhere. These you know, Better Business Bureau, the award that you've got. I mean, there's you know, the awards is great. It's fantastic. So
yeah, this is a great picture of Eamonn in a very sleek suit. You know, getting another one of the awards that we're talking about here. So.
And Eamonn, I notice also that you do some work with Habitat for Humanity. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, they've always been a partner. I mean, for I don't know how long, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, our model is, you know, the reuse or recycling potentially to maximize the potential of the material we remove, and you know, they're obviously a go-to, and we've done a lot of projects with them. You know, when we also do deconstruction and demolition stuff, like, so, you know, rip out a kitchen or a bathroom, or you know, take down a house even, or a warehouse or whatever. But a lot of the times, you know, the cabinets are good.
Yes.
So you know, they would, you know, we take them down and they come and take them away. We do a lot of work at UBC, and for this particular job, I think it was like one of the residents, the student housing, whatever, there was like 140 units and all the appliances had to go. So we donated, I don't know how many hundreds of stoves and fridges and stuff to Habitat. And so this is what was happening in the shop too. And of course, I'm taking a picture. I'm like, hands up. But great, like, you know, and I think this picture is great because it, you know, it highlights, because the two guys in the blue shirts on the end are the Habitat guys, and you know, they're both smiling, and because, you know, our guys are fun and we're kind of fun, and
but it just makes sense. It just makes sense. I mean, I know there's a lot of other companies that, and you see it, you know, you go to the dump and you see some of the things that are getting just thrown out. It's just mind-boggling. It just makes sense to have, you know, what's usable, to go to organizations like Habitat for Humanity, and so many other, you know, locally or around the globe.
Or even more locally, Urban Repurpose, for instance, more recent on the scene, but an awesome example of a model that you know, that solely exists by all the stuff that's getting thrown out in our world, which is insane amounts, and in every sector. Of course, we, you know, residential is one of ours, but, you know, our biggest one is commercial, and But anyways, there we go.
That's fantastic. And also, so here's a photograph of Eamonn and your team, and this is probably recent right now. You guys, there's a Christmas tree sponsorship program down at our local village where you donate a Christmas tree, and so much of, you know, that goes to local charities. And you guys do a lot of charity work too, right? You also do, or used to do, or did, is it Bikes for Tykes, or?
Yeah, we used to, for sure. We haven't done it recently, but yeah. That was a big one too. But this one we've done for, I don't even know how many years.
Yeah, I always see your tree down there. It's great with all, it's amazing.
I love it. And these are all reclaimed ornaments from past jobs.
Oh no.
It looks a little bit Charlie Brownish, but you know, it's at the value of the I guess the meaning is more.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, so this is a bit of a rock drop, Eamonn did.
Oh, whoa.
So you do crash.
No, I just blew the corner.
Yeah.
We'll
Sure.
run out at the end.
It's fine. You should. The segment after is pretty funny because I'm just screaming.
So this is everything that you film is a lot bigger in real life than on
yeah.
film. So you were in the air there, the little transition before you hit the other rock there. It's pretty sweet.
So for people who can't see this, it's a video of well, not a big rock transition that Eamonn's doing on his mountain bike here.
That's a cool angle.
Was this on Seymour, Mount Seymour, or was it on?
It's Seymour, yeah.
It's Seymour, yeah.
Yeah, a little transfer.
Wow, that's
it's
gnarly.
so nuts.
Yeah, little
Holy
transfer.
And it's crazy that video gives it no justice at all.
I know.
It's significant.
It looks pretty gnarly still, but for sure, when you're on the top of that thing coming down, oh my god!
Because you look and now you're in the air and you hit the other bit.
Yeah,
so there's another angle I saw too from the other side, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, from down. Yeah. So basically, you're at the top of that rock, and it's like skiing a chute, if you will.
Right.
And you're committed, so you drop in right here, and then you transfer. So drop your shoulders and transfer to the rock beside it. But yeah, it's kind of, you can't really tell, but it's
that's super gnarly.
Yeah,
dude, it's so rad. Such a cool feature.
It's an old Wade Simmons move there, airborne and
classic.
Classic.
Right, let me go back to here. We go. Oh, did I unshare it? I guess.
Yeah, you're good.
There we go. Cool. So now I've lost all my notes and everything.
You're okay.
Well, I got a question for you, Eamon. So I just want what would be your message to people out there who are trying to entrepreneurs that are looking to start an environmental company, but there's more steps. It's maybe a little harder. It's easy to cut corners and take the easy route of just, throwing things out in the aspect of, what you do, or, just doing things not against the environment kind of, you know what I mean? What would be your message to them, and why should it be a no-brainer that we have environmental or we make our companies, somewhat sustainable, environmental, and what's the fulfillment in that at the end of the day?
Right. Well, I would say if you're you're in the planning stages for a business, and I for any business, sustainability should be one of its pillars. It's automatic. I mean, look at the direction, right? You know what I mean? I mean, we started this 15 years ago, and in our industry, it was really not a thing. But I look at the change that's happened over the last decade. It's undeniable, right? And it's in some environmental issue is in forefront in the news, and it's great, right? Because we're starting to realize, those resources are limited. And that land base is limited, and that ocean, actually, it's we need to take care of it, right? So as we move forward, the sustainability should be one of your top concerns. And also, like you said before, Nigel, I think with this generation and up and coming generations, it's there's you can do work, you can work anywhere, right? But if there's no value, right? If you're not doing something good, be it for your community or the environment or yourself even, what's the point? You know what I mean? Then you just go do another job. Because I think, again, we live in a world where everything is disposable, or fast-paced, right? And a lot is lost in connection. And I think that's really one of our successes, is that we, we're essentially a family here, and we're driven by our community and the environment and our team, right? And I think all those things are important. And and to further that point on sustainability, I think culture is huge, right? And I think people get, they lose sight of the values of what they're trying to do, and money, of course you need to make money, but it's not like money will come, and just look at larger time scales, right? Because it's not, there's no quick fix to anything or success. So there's some exceptions, but I think if you're in it for the long haul, then you start with a solid foundation of your culture, of your team, and
Yep.
of course having, good values like environment or
Mm-hmm.
anyways, or local community activism.
Yeah.
I think are essential moving forward in our world.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then the fulfillment, it just comes with, you're doing the right thing. You're pretty much, you're just saving the environment, 1
100%.
little thing at a time to a whole truckload of stuff. And
Yeah. And it's
pretty
those,
good.
it's the small things, right? And it's all of us doing those small things. And I think when you build a company like that, based on, with those fundamentals, it's like a self-fulfilling kind of prophecy, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's self-driven.
Right.
Because it's not like I, give the guys a prep talk every morning about how to be great. It's because they're stoked already.
Yeah.
They're doing their thing, and it's, that feedback is coming and whatever.
Totally.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. It's interesting because you're a company and you're doing your thing, right? And you're trying to make a little bit of a difference. And then my company, we're trying to make a little bit of a difference. And I said this a few times that sometimes it gets quite daunting. So it's like we're doing this. Are we really making a difference? Whatever. But I say this over and over again. Collectively, with that mindset of this type of mindset, we do collectively make a huge difference in the world, and we do change things. And it, maybe a little bit slow at times, but the speed, things are picking. This flywheel is really starting to pick up in the past 3, 4, 5 years. It's absolutely been, incredible what collectively businesses and consciousness has been able to do to make. And that's why Devon and I started this podcast. Is there's so many cool businesses and so many cool people and so many cool causes out there that are doing incredible things, and we just wanted to highlight them.
Yeah.
And to show the world that this is happening. This is the mindset of the people on the planet now. Things are really starting to pick up, and we just wanted to showcase it.
Yeah,
You're a great example of this. I've always really admired what you stand for and who you are, and your mountain biking prowess, kind of reminds me of my old days. But if I did that, I would be in hospital for 6 months.
We still haven't gone for a ride, Nigel.
Yeah, I know. After seeing that, I'm like, yeah.
Don't worry, I wouldn't take you there. Hilarious. No,
I'd go there and watch. Yeah.
Well, and I think to further your point too, it's also the things that we can't see, right? It's like the impact you have on people's lives, and I often like to think that the little things that I do, receiving my guys and the meaning and the value that they're getting out of this, the intrinsic things more importantly stay with them for the rest of their lives and impact those decisions moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
I do know what you mean. Yeah, and yeah, their families. I mean, what they're doing, they'll be talking about it, and then one day they'll have kids, perhaps, and raise their kids with a slightly different mindset. The way I evolved, so yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, and I think and it really stokes me that the culture that we have here, it's just like it like ramps me up, right? You know what I mean? And it's like this, it's super cool. But again, in business, I think apples to apples, but invest in your team, right? And you can't plan, because I could never really plan this, right? Like it's just happenstance, but based on good values. And it's just like all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, this is pretty cool. Right? You know what I mean? I love my guys, all the people that work here. And I feel it's a mutual feeling, and that's so important. And because when they come here, and a lot of them have some really bad experiences, right? Being used and abused, if you will, from previous employers that don't care, right? And they only value the dollar. And of course, I say this, but I mean, the dollar is important, of course. You need to make money in this world, but but that's all they value, right? And that's it. And it's just production and clock in, clock out, and no matter what, there's no connection. I think that's a huge oversight. So anyways, and here we are, and it's I wake up and I go to work and go to my den and I receive my guys, and it's great. And when we have, and it's really cool when we have big projects, and we have we have quite a large labor pool, and everyone that works here lives in the community. You know what I mean? Which is so cool. And majority of them are within their social networks, so there's a lot of connection there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, thanks, Eamonn. And Dev, do we have any other questions or closing remarks? Or
no, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Eamonn. Really appreciate you being on our show here and highlighting yourself and your incredible company. We love you guys, and thanks for all that you were doing.
Yeah,
we'll definitely have to have you back at some point.
Oh, I'd love to,
when
man.
There's some new stuff going on, Yeah,
lots of stuff going on. 2021, I think. Well, it's looking good. So
yeah,
a lot of cool things happening.
Sweet. So Dev, you want to close it up?
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, that is the end of our show for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to check out more about Eamonn and what he does, check him out at Green Coast Rubbish, all of his stuff, Green Coast. If you need anything taken away from your house, if you need anything recycled, need anything repurposed, here's the guy to call. So yeah, if you're, a Vancouverite, especially if you're a North Fanny, we can definitely come and help you out with the awesome crew, great guys, and save the world. Make the conscious choice to go with the green rather than going with these other junk companies that aren't going to recycle your goods. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show today, Eamonn. We had a really good time talking to you, and we'll definitely have to have you back.